Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Football. Champions League football is back. That means we are back as well, and we're here to talk about the Matchday 9 team selection. UCL Fantasy is back. Always interesting. I've already made 4 changes. I usually make like 3 and then wait a couple of days until like the deadline to make 2 others. But this time I've made 4 changes, mostly because like 3 of them had already been eliminated, and I really knew which players I wanted in anyway. So I will talk about the players that I've taken out right now, and then I'll talk about the players I've brought in later on in the videos. Always remember, you are allowed 5 transfers right before match day 9, right before quarterfinal first leg, and there's going to be some interesting games: Man City against Bayern, Real Madrid against Chelsea, AC Milan against Napoli, and obviously Benfica against Inter Milan. A lot of people expecting like Man City to go through, Real Madrid to go through, Napoli to go through, but it's not that easy to predict. Like AC Milan just thumped Napoli the other day in Serie A. You never know. It could be a Milan derby in the semi-final. You could have an all-English affair between Man City and Chelsea in the semi-final. You never know. First up, let's talk about the players that have taken out. So obviously Lionel Messi was eliminated. I had to take him out. It's going to cost you 10.7 million, so that is saving you a lot of money in your team to get in other big strikers. I've also taken out Bellingham, who cost 7.5 million. Dortmund also eliminated, just like PSG. Third, Diogo Costa, the goalkeeper from FC Porto, another one who was eliminated. And finally, I've also taken out Reece James, just because Chelsea are looking all over the place, and I definitely do not want a Chelsea defender against Real Madrid. There's no chance they're keeping a clean, despite everything I said, there's no chance they're keeping a clean sheet at the Bernabeu. So let's talk about how my team is looking, and let's start with the defense. So first up, I'm going to keep Kepa. He's playing against Real Madrid, but I really can't take out both goalkeepers. I already had to take out Diogo Costa, so I'm going to keep Kepa. Hopefully I don't need him. Hopefully, he's going to play in the first day, so if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, I'm just going to move to my other goalkeeper, who is Onana. I've brought in Onana for Costa. I think that's a good pick up against Benfica. Inter Milan and AC Milan do love to like try and park the bus in one of the legs, that like we've seen this season. AC Milan going to Tottenham parking the bus, Inter Milan in the round of 16 parking the bus in, I think it was the first leg or second leg against FC Porto. I think, yeah, the second leg they totally parked the bus. So hopefully we can see the same. And Onana at 5 million, I think, is a good price. Listen, if Kepa makes like 100 saves and gets 20 points, I don't have to bring on Onana, but I think at the end of the day I will need to play Onana, and I think that is a good transfer. So that is how my goalkeepers are looking. And in terms of defense, I am going to stick with the 2 defenders from Napoli. I had them in the round of 16. They did okay for me, so I'm going to keep both of them. That is Di Lorenzo and Rachmani. I think by now almost everyone is going to have Di Lorenzo, so I'm doubling up with Rachmani. I did that in the round of 16. If I had my wildcard right now, I probably wouldn't go for 2 Napoli defenders. But I think if they keep a clean sheet or do something like that, AC Milan don't really score a lot of goals like this season. Yes, they can. I mean, the last time they played against Napoli, they scored 4 goals against them. But before that, they weren't really scoring a bunch of goals. So if they keep a clean sheet, I don't actually expect them to keep one, but if they do, Di Lorenzo is owned by almost everyone. It would be good to have another differential there. And even if they don't keep a clean sheet, Di Lorenzo usually gets goals and assists and stuff. So hopefully he can get an attacking return, and Rachmani can chip in with them a couple of recovery points. So that is the defense I have. In terms of the third defender, Grimaldo, Benfica against Inter Milan. I've had him like since the match day 5 or something, match day 4 there. I am going to keep him up against the Inter Milan. And then fourth defender is Theo Hernandez up against Napoli. I mean, it would be good to get a 0-0 in that game. Theo Hernandez sticks in my team once again. And then the first transfer in my team for this match day is Carvajal, who's come on for Reece James, as mentioned earlier. Why? Because Chelsea just can't score a goal. They've literally had 3 managers in the last 1 week. All 3 games they haven't scored a goal. So hopefully Real Madrid can keep a clean sheet and not end up conceding 3 goals like they did against Villarreal. I want the Real Madrid that played against Barcelona and won 4-0. That Real Madrid, a clean sheet and a couple of attacking returns would be good. So that is the defense: 2 Napoli players, 1 AC Milan player, 1 Benfica player, and 1 Real Madrid player. I also have an Inter Milan defender and also a Chelsea goalkeeper. So I've basically almost covered every single team defensively, apart from the likes of City and Bayern, because I expect both teams to be like a 4-3 or something. But the rest of the teams, I pretty much covered all the teams: Benfica, Inter Milan, Napoli, AC Milan, Real Madrid, Chelsea, literally every single team apart from the Man City Bayern Munich game. So that is how my defense is looking. Next up, let's talk about the midfielders. For the midfield, obviously Vinicius, I think you've got to have him up against Chelsea. I think if Chelsea end up playing like they have played the last like 2-3 months, I think Real Madrid Vinicius is going to rip them apart. And I think up against James, especially if he goes forward, he's going to rip them apart. So Vinicius is in my midfield. He's been there for a long time and he's going to stay in my team. Joao Mario has also been in my team for a couple of match days. He's going to remain there. He does a lot. He scores a bunch of goals. He takes the penalties. And up against Inter Milan, a home game, just like Vinicius, you would expect them to win the first leg against Inter Milan, so that would be good. And at only 6.4 million, I think he's been a bargain for sure. Speaking of bargains, Kvaratskhelia has been amazing this season. By now, everyone in the world knows Kvaratskhelia, and at the start of the season, probably no one knew him, so it's been a good season for him. It's a home, it's an away game, yes, but hoping. I mean, listen, if they don't get any goals, we get clean sheets for Theo Hernandez and Di Lorenzo. The ideal event would be for Theo Hernandez and Di Lorenzo to get attacking returns, and also Kvaratskhelia and my other pick that I've brought in midfield to also get an attacking return or recovery points in midfield. So Kvaratskhelia stays in my team. I think by now everyone has him. And then Riyad Mahrez in the Champions League. Riyad Mahrez is Champions League guy for Man City. If Haaland is going to score, if it's not De Bruyne assisting, it's going to be Mahrez. And if De Bruyne doesn't assist Haaland, it's going to be Mahrez. And if Haaland doesn't score and decides to assist, he's going to be assisting Mahrez. He always does well in the Champions League. I didn't bring him in right now. He's been in my team for a couple of match days, and I am going to keep him. I did not see any reason of taking him out. And then I've brought in Tonali. As mentioned earlier, I took out Bellingham. I brought in Tonali. I think it's a good option for in terms of recovery points up against Napoli, and he's actually gotten a couple of assists in the Champions League this season already. I think he picked up player of the match in one of the games too. So hopefully he can turn up. I don't really expect goals or anything from him, but if you can chip in with an assist, why not? I mean, 3-3, Tonali scores, Theo Hernandez scores, Di Lorenzo scores, Ramani assists, Kvaratskhelia. That would be perfect. So that is the midfield. I've gone for Real Madrid midfielder. I've gone for Napoli midfielder, Benfica midfielder, Man City midfielder, and an AC Milan midfielder. So far, as you can see, I don't have any Bayern Munich players yet. I didn't have any in the last round, and I mean, in terms of defense, I think Man City will score at least 2 goals against them at the Etihad. So I was not really keen on bringing Cancelo or Alphonso Davies. In terms of midfielders, I really don't know what Tuchel is going to do. I think he started Sané for the 2 games that he's been there against Dortmund, and the last one, I think, against Freiburg. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do in the Champions League. But the manager first game in the Champions League with Bayern, you just don't know what he's going to do. But I kind of expect him to start Sané. But at the end of the day, he would have been too expensive for me. And that's how my midfield is looking. I might still end up bringing a Bayern Munich player. I still have one transfer to go, but we will see maybe if we get the lineup. Let's go to the forward players. Striker, I think it's straightforward for a couple of these players. One of them is definitely Erling Haaland. If you don't have Erling Haaland in your team, what are you doing? You definitely are not taking this game seriously. Haaland has to be in your team. He is a machine. I think he's got 48 goals this season. That is absolutely crazy. He's going to definitely get 50 goals this season. Hopefully, he can get a couple this week. So Haaland, 11 million up against Bayern Munich. He was a Dortmund player, so he definitely wants to play against Bayern Munich. He played against Dortmund in the last game, actually. Osimhen, I think he didn't play. There's a game that he didn't play. I think last game or something. I think the AC Milan game, Osimhen didn't play when they lost 4 goals to nil. 7.9 million, I think, is a good price. You don't really have to have him if you already have Kvaratskhelia for this game. Maybe in the home game you can have him, but he was already in my team and I did not have any reason of taking him out. But if you're playing a limitless chip or wildcard, or if you're bringing any other players, the Benfica strikers are definitely good options. I was definitely thinking about them. As I said, they still have one transfer, so I was thinking, should I bring in like a Rafa Silva, Ramos? That could still be an option for Osimhen, but depends what happens in the next couple of days. And then the next player that I've brought in, the fourth player that I've brought in after Onana, Carvajal, Tonali, is Benzema. I mean, right before the Villarreal game, he scored 2 hat-tricks back-to-back, and one of them was against Barcelona away from home in the Copa del Rey, 4-0 win. And since the World Cup, he's played 19 games and scored 19 goals. So he's on proper form. And up against Chelsea, who basically being beat by everyone, whether it's Wolves, whether it's Aston Villa, home or away. Chelsea are not the same Chelsea that we know this season. They're absolutely terrible. They've appointed Lampard. I don't think Lampard will do the job against Real Madrid. I expect Real Madrid to get at least 3 goals in that game, to be honest. So I have gone for Benzema to double up with Vinicius, and also hopefully defensive return from Carvajal. So that is how my team is looking for transfers made. Messi out, Bellingham out, Diego Costa out, Reece James out, Carvajal in, Onana in, Tonali in, and Benzema in as well. One transfer to go, as I said, you might get Rafa Silva on, or Leao, or Ramos instead of Osimhen, or you might get a Bayern Munich player somewhere. If I decide Bayern Munich player, I need a Bayern Munich player, we will see. For the home leg, I'll definitely have a Bayern Munich player, but for this one against Man City, I'm kind of expecting it to be a 3-3 or something, 4-3 to Man City or something crazy like that. So there will be goals. Musiala has always been in my team, but I'm not sure. He's kind of disappointed me in the last couple of games. So let's see what happens, because there's a cheap route to that Bayern Munich midfield. Same with Kimmich, but we will see. But someone like Kimmich, I expect him to definitely pick up a yellow card in that match. So that's how my team is looking. Let me know which changes you've made. I will have the fun at the tip show on Monday, talking about my predictions and answering some of your questions. Make sure to comment down your question and I'll put it in the video. Thank you for watching. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.